morning, and welcome back to the diary. Thank you for joining me, and welcome to what can best be described as a very experimental day, which all of a sudden has worked. Those of you that watched the previous video when I was fishing for the roach will know that I wanted to practice something I'd never ever done before, which is pellet waggler fishing. I've been doing it for all of five minutes. I'm going to say something stupid like, don't you love it when a plan comes together? I knew nothing about pellet waggler fishing until a few pals invited me on a Jolly Boys weekend to a carp fishery, commercial fishery, where apparently pellet waggler fishing is one of the more successful, they said, one of the more successful approaches. Turns out it's quite successful on my local club water. Oh dear, nobody more surprised than me. I've literally been sat there firing pellets in for 5 minutes, and this thing is hung on the end. See if I can get it in the net. That would be the ultimate success, I guess. Amazing what a few hours at the University of YouTube can do. Come on. I'm doing my best to knock it off here. Well. It's a chunky old fish. There you go, my first ever pellet waggler caught fish. I don't believe that. Unbelievable. Get it back. Back in a minute. Well, after that initial excitement, I'll try and explain a bit more about what I'm trying to do here. As I said just now, plan today was to, oh, that was the float moving. Plan today was to try something I've never tried before, and that is pellet waggler fishing. Now, the purposes of trying it was that we have a Jolly Boys weekend coming up that on a carp fishery, a commercial carp fishery. that I'm told, I've never been to before, it's new to me, but I'm told one of the more successful methods is pellet waggler fishing. And so I thought it might be worthwhile at least just trying the techniques that I've learnt from YouTube to see if it will work here on one of my local club waters, and that's exactly what it did. It's remarkable. It was, and I'm being dead honest with this, I'd actually been trying it for 5 minutes. I've been firing pellets round the float for literally 5 minutes when off it went. So if it works here, then perhaps it'll work at the weekend. We're having a little bit of a competition, so if it is as successful at the weekend as it is or has been here so far, then everything's good. You probably see in the background, shows you what faith I had in pellet waggler fishing. I bought the feeder rod as well, on the basis that my confidence wasn't that high about the pellet waggler. Let's just see if I can be proved wrong again. Guys that do this, one of my pals fishes this place we're going to, and he says once they know, you get a bite within seconds. You know, if it was a heavily stocked commercial especially. I'm rather pleased you came round, because that changed me luck.
I think you've been bagging up all the time.
No, I haven't. No, honestly I haven't. And the nice thing about this is you can fish quite light, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, I'll get snapped off, watch. And the fish hook themselves because of the weight of the float.
Mm-hmm.
As they turn on the pellet, they hook themselves. I cannot believe it's that successful. Come on.
Certainly good scrappers.
They pull, yeah they do.
In good form.
Dear. Yes.
Well done, Bruce. That's the way to do it.
I wasn't confident at all. I'll be honest with you. I just can't believe that.
I was just really curious, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wasn't the least bit confident. Ah, there we go. It looked itself. Lovely. number 2. In good nick.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lovely.
Good rattle.
Yeah. Lovely. So, the first one wasn't a fluke. You're certainly going to get through some pellets at this game though. I'm only firing 3 in at a time, but as I say, you will get through some pellets. I was just chatting to one of the other guys on here who seemed suitably impressed by the method, and he hadn't fished it as either, but it would be worth trying the sweet corn. So I've got a big tub of sweet corn with me. So once I run out of pellets, which may not be too long, I'm going to try the sweet corn and see what happens. Sort of hair rig a piece of sweet corn. Actually, talking about the rigs, I'll show you what I'm using. But it is completely. I mean, I wouldn't like to sound like I'm telling you on the basis that I know what I'm doing, because I don't. But it is a completely standard approach, the sort of thing you'll have all no doubt seen on YouTube. But it's good fun. Relatively light rod. It's a 10-foot. In fact, to be honest with you, it's a 10-foot float rod. And 6-pound main line, 5-pound hook link, and a banded pellet. A bit of a swirl near the float, something there. But good fun. So, like I said, completely standard pellet waggler setup. Being a tight-fisted type, I went and bought a cheap float kit, balsa float kit. So that's the setup there. A couple of, actually they're braid stops instead of float stops. I can never seem to get float stops that work properly. So 2 at the under the float, 1 above. I'm fishing at the moment about, that last fish you saw came from about 2 feet. I'm going to shallow it even more shortly, and 6mm, a 6mm banded pellet on a size 12 barbless hook. As I say, completely standard. I don't know enough about this game to start and develop my own tactics. I'll just copy everybody else's, and at the moment that seems to work. Well, just about run out of pellets. It's gone a bit quiet on the pellet waggler, so I've stuck the feed rod out. At least that way you can get a cup of coffee. We've got a little bit of a surprise. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? And it's behaving itself. Well, that was a bit abrupt. I decided to move move the feeder, and I've just plonked it, oh gosh, where I've been firing pellets for the pellet waggler. And it occurred to me that a fair amount of pellet had gone in there. I'm very nearly run out of pellet, so there's a lot of pellet gone in there. And I just thought it was worth putting the feeder there and just seeing if there was something hoovering up the pellets. And as you just saw, it was because it was at close quarters, it made it even worse. Stop. It's just, I couldn't get to the rod fast enough. Just whacked round. That would have been embarrassing, wouldn't it, eh? Oh, rod into the water trick. Feels like a good fish. Ooh. Giving a good account of yourself, certainly. Oh, that is a chunky fish. There you go. It's a lovely fish. Very good order as well. Not sure what this is, but it's come from the same spot as the last fish. Oh, it's a decent tench. Well, that's a surprise. I knew they'd stocked with some small tench. In fact, we saw one earlier. But I didn't realise there were tench this size in here. Look at that. £3 thereabouts. There must be a stock of fish on the patch where I was firing in the pellets. I don't think this one's a carp either, but that feeder had only been in there about 20 seconds. Oh, that's another tench. If anything, it looks a bit bigger. It is a bit bigger. Oh boy, that's a nice fish. Look at that. They're very light coloured tench, aren't they? I guess it's because the carp keep the water, the mud stirred up. That's a beauty. There's not a mark on it either side. right mixed bag, but it's no complaints here. That's from the same patch. Yes, there you go. Steady. There you go. They're in good order, these fish. The last time I fished here, there were some that were showing signs of, I don't know, sort of red sores and things. Well, these fish, none of these fish I've had so far show any signs, any disfigurement at all. Well, as I say, those last fish have all come from the spot where I was firing in pellets for the pellet waggler. So it's been a worthwhile trip, this. I've broken my duck as far as catching fish with a pellet waggler is concerned, and I've learned an important lesson that if for any reason you stop using the pellet waggler, putting a feeder into the spot where you've been fishing previously is obviously a good idea. Same spot again. Enough pulley string, these things. There you go. Look at that. Lovely. Doesn't look like I'm going to get another fish. And it's got round to the time when I have to pack it up and get on the road. It was always going to be a short session. It was principally, as I said earlier, to allow me to try this pellet waggler malarkey. So in that regard, it was quite successful. And obviously I've got some nice fish as well, so very worthwhile, but as I say, time to go. If it's going to go, it needs to go now. Oh, right, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and all being well, the next time you see me will be in Yorkshire. Thanks for watching, as I say. Bye for now.